Hey everyone, she's 18 now and done playing the nice girl game. Shiloh Jolie Pitt, daughter of Brad Pitt, and Angelina Jolie just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up Hollywood. After years of rumors, legal battles, and sealed documents, Shiloh has finally broken her silence about the infamous 2016 plane incident. And what she's saying is completely changing the public narrative. With this shocking move, she's rewriting the family story, and Brad's name is right at the center of the controversy. The divorce between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie has just gotten more complicated than ever. Nearly a decade has passed, yet the couple who first met as co-stars in Mr. and Mrs. Smith still make headlines for all the wrong reasons. The latest development centers around none other than their daughter Shiloh Jolie Pitt. From now on, we'll have to call her Shiloh Jolie, as the 18-year-old has made it clear she's had enough of her father. Shiloh, daughter of two of Hollywood's biggest stars, is now at the center of a legal storm marking her independence with a move that's shaking the entertainment world. On her 18th birthday, the day most teenage girls celebrate their coming of age, Shiloh made a bold statement without saying a word. The entertainment industry woke up to the news that Shiloh had hired her own lawyer to help legally change her name. By petitioning to drop the Pitt from her name, she made it clear she wants to be known simply as Shiloh Jolie. This act isn't just a simple legal formality. It speaks volumes of a fractured relationship and a desire to redefine herself. So how did Brad Pitt react? Just 1 week after Shiloh, his 18-year-old daughter with Angelina Jolie, filed to drop his last name, a family insider told the press Brad is aware and saddened by this decision. He has never felt greater joy than the day Shiloh was born. He always dreamed of having a daughter. Now, being reminded that he's lost his children is painful. It's not easy for Brad. He loves his kids deeply and misses them dearly. Although reportedly happy in his current relationship with Inez de Ramon, the growing distance from his children still hurts him. But why did Shiloh make such a bold move? Is there something darker going on behind the scenes? Drop a 1 in the comments if you want to know more about how this story unfolds. In 2020, while the world was engulfed by a pandemic, another storm was brewing within Hollywood's most fractured family. Brad Pitt may have won an Oscar that year, but he also walked straight into a tempest stirred by his own son. On Father's Day 2020, Maddox, Jolie Pitt, Brad, and Angelina's eldest son shocked social media with a post that felt less like a tribute and more like a declaration of war. He shared a photo of Brad holding his Oscar for Best Supporting Actor captioned "Ruthless, Relentless, Personal." Happy Father's Day to this world-class human being. Time and time again, you prove yourself to be a terrible, despicable person. You show no care, no empathy for your 4 young children who tremble in fear when you're near. You've made the lives of those closest to you a living hell. You may deceive yourself and the world, but the truth will come out someday. So happy Father's Day to this awful, damnable human being. The post ignited social media like wildfire. Harsh indeed. But for those closely following the Jolie-Pitt divorce, it was the eruption of a long, smoldering volcano. At the heart of the rift lies the infamous 2016 private plane incident, the moment many believe marked the true beginning of Brad's downfall as a father. On a flight that stopped at International Falls Airport in Minnesota, Brad and Maddox, then 15 years old, reportedly had a tense and emotional confrontation. Although security footage from the airport exists, it has never been made public. A source who claimed to have seen the video said Brad was seen yelling intensely, but there was no physical contact. However, the psychological impact was immediate and devastating. After that moment, Maddox began to quickly distance himself. Reports suggest he rejected his father, telling friends he no longer considered himself Brad's son. Someone close to Angelina revealed Maddox is very close to his mother. He no longer sees himself as Brad's son. He doesn't want anything to do with him. Despite everything, Angelina tried to mend the relationship in 2019. She reportedly encouraged father and son to talk, but Maddox refused. From Brad's side, the response was pure heartbreak. It was a huge loss, a source close to the actor said. Maddox wouldn't accept it, and for Brad, that was truly cruel. Things hit rock bottom in 2021. Amid the fierce and prolonged custody battle between Brad and Angelina Maddox, now a legal adult is reported to have testified against his father. According to sources, his testimony was far from gentle. They also note that he stopped using the last name Pitt on personal documents, preferring the name Maddox Jolie instead. Although he expressed a desire to officially change his name, sources say Angelina does not support this move despite their close relationship. By 2022, it seemed Brad had reached his breaking point. He made one final effort to reconnect. On Maddox's 21st birthday, Brad sent him a gift and a handwritten letter, his last offer of peace. But the response was silence. They used to be very close, a source shared. Not just father and son, they had a real intellectual bond. Brad thinks about Maddox every day. He still hopes, but it might be too late. It's not just Maddox slamming the door on Brad Pitt. His sisters are walking through it too. After years of tension and emotional distance, it seems each of Brad's children is choosing sides, and it's not his. First up is Zahara Marley Jolie, who made a quiet yet powerful statement in 2023 during a sorority induction ceremony, a video of which went viral online. In the footage, she confidently introduced herself with flair and without any trace of her father's last name. "My name is Zahara Marley Jolie," she proudly announced, flipping her hair and performing the signature steps of her new sisterhood. "I'm from the Golden State, the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California. I'm number 7 in this line." The message was loud and clear. Brad Pitt is no longer part of the story. No Pitt here anymore. Next is Vivienne Jolie Brad and Angelina's youngest daughter. In 2024, she made a subtle yet symbolic break. While working on The Outsiders, a Broadway musical co-produced by her mother, Vivienne appeared in the official playbill not as Vivienne Jolie Pitt, but simply as Vivienne Jolie. She was just 15 years old, but her choice echoed the moves of her older siblings. Another child, another Pitt gone. Brad once proudly fathered 6 children united under one famous last name. Now, as each child steps into adulthood, that name is being quietly dropped one by one. So what caused 4 of the 6 Jolie Pitt children to turn their backs on Brad? There are 2 theories, but one of them is truly chilling. According to a shocking revelation that rocked Hollywood, Angelina, Jolie may have orchestrated a calculated campaign to turn her children against their father. This accusation doesn't come from tabloids or anonymous sources. It comes from someone who has been inside the family for 2 decades. Tony Webb, a former elite British military officer turned private security expert, has filed a bombshell declaration. In it, he claims that Angelina instructed the children to avoid seeing Brad Pitt during scheduled custody visits. This was not a vague suggestion, but reportedly a direct order. If true, it reveals a deliberate effort to sabotage the father-child relationship in the highly publicized custody battle. Webb's allegations add an entirely new layer of mystery to an already emotionally charged case. What gives his testimony real weight isn't just what he says, but who he is. Tony Webb isn't just a hired bodyguard. He was the family's chief protector, entrusted with ensuring their safety and privacy for over 20 years. His role ranged from guarding their international travels to managing sensitive information under strict NDA agreements. He was there through their most vulnerable and turbulent moments and witnessed it all firsthand. According to Webb, Jolie's alleged behavior during custody exchanges was just part of a broader effort to isolate Brad from his children. If these claims are true, they could have a significant impact not only on custody rulings, but also on how the world views one of Hollywood's most powerful women. Webb's background is impressive. He served in the British Royal Navy and the elite Special Air Service SAS before moving into private security. And for 2 decades, his job was clear to keep Angelina Jolie and her family safe, discreet, and out of the spotlight. But now he's the one bringing everything to light. Is this a mother protecting her children or manipulating them? The battle lines within the Jolie-Pitt family have just grown much darker. If you enjoyed this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, let me know with a 0. I truly appreciate your feedback. According to Tony Webb, after Brad and Angelina separated in 2016, his security company, SRS Global, continued to provide personal protection for Jolie and her children. It was during this post-separation period that Webb says he became aware of something concerning direct instructions from Jolie for her children to avoid spending time with their father during custody visits. In a sworn court declaration, Webb recounted a specific and troubling incident. He alleged that Michael Vieira, Angelina Jolie's assistant, approached him with a request that crossed the line, asking him to prevent 2 of his independent contractors from testifying in the family court trial. "Mr. Vieira asked me to stop these 2 individuals from testifying," Webb stated in legal documents. "It was clear to me he was making this request on behalf of Ms. Jolie." Vieira reportedly reminded Webb that the 2 contractors had signed strict non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, and warned that legal action could be taken if they chose to testify. But Webb pushed back, explaining that he had no authority to stop them because they were independent contractors, not employees of SRS Global. That's when Vieira allegedly doubled down. His message wasn't just a warning, it was a threat cloaked in legal language: testify and be sued. Webb said Vieira wanted him to make sure the contractors remembered their NDAs and understood the consequences if they spoke in court about what they had witnessed. One of the 2 contractors, Ross Foster, was undeterred. If subpoenaed, he was ready to testify, even if it meant violating the NDA. Foster reportedly told Webb that he overheard Jolie instructing her children to avoid their father during custody visits. He was prepared to go on the record. Ross Foster made it clear. Webb testified that if called upon, he would speak about what he heard. Jolie encouraged her children to avoid their father. Webb relayed the warning to both individuals, and they reportedly stood firm. Foster's willingness to break confidentiality if subpoenaed suggests that what he heard wasn't just casual talk, it was serious. If proven true, these revelations could change everything. Jolie's alleged manipulation could have serious legal consequences, especially in custody rulings. Judges tend to take a very hard line against parents who intentionally influence children negatively against the other parent. Worse still, their children were nearby, and some reportedly witnessed or overheard the argument. 2 of the children were said to be crying outside the door. One child reportedly tried to intervene, which only escalated Pitt's anger. Jolie claimed that Pitt lunged toward the child and she had to physically restrain him. The report further stated that Pitt later choked one child and struck another. The cabin turned into a chaotic scene as the children tried to protect each other. Jolie reported sustaining injuries and submitted a photo of her bruised elbow to the FBI. The turmoil continued even after the plane landed. Jolie alleged that Pitt kept drinking poured beer on her and blocked her and the children from leaving the aircraft for 20 minutes. The aftermath triggered formal investigations. Both the Los Angeles County Department of Child and Family Services and the FBI launched inquiries into the abuse allegations. Agents interviewed family members and gathered evidence to determine what happened on the flight. Despite concerning testimonies, no criminal charges were filed. After reviewing the details, federal prosecutors and the FBI closed the investigation without pursuing criminal action, citing unspecified reasons. Redefining the legacy. Hollywood's once golden couple, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, are now trapped under the media microscope with their private cracks laid bare before the public. Against this backdrop, Shiloh's decision to drop her father's last name did not come as a complete surprise to those following the family's unraveling. It wasn't just a name change. It was a statement, a break from a past marked by legal battles, emotional wounds, and public scandal. While Pitt once symbolized fame and legacy for Shiloh, it had become a painful chapter. By legally adopting her mother's last name, Jolie, she chose the parent who had been her primary caregiver throughout that storm. The timing was deeply meaningful. Shiloh made this change on her 18th birthday, a milestone marking her coming of age. Even more poignant, it happened on Memorial Day, adding a layer of closure and honoring the story that shaped who she is. For Brad Pitt, the aftermath of the 2016 incident was not just public scrutiny, but a painful process of repairing his image. He has been candid about his struggles with alcohol, admitting that despite giving up many things when he became a father, drinking remained a challenge. It was only after those events that he found sobriety. In interviews, Brad reflected on how sobriety brought raw emotions to the surface, stripping away denial and driving personal growth. He described the process as both bitter and necessary. However, even as he found peace in his personal recovery, the battle with his ex-wife continued. Though their marriage officially ended in 2019, the custody fight still goes on. A California appeals court later disqualified a private judge overseeing the case due to a conflict of interest, sparking new tensions and prolonging the legal battle. What followed was a maze of shifting rulings and evolving custody arrangements. In December 2016, 3 months after Jolie filed for divorce, a temporary custody agreement granted her primary physical custody of all 6 children. Brad's time with his children was initially limited to weekly therapy sessions supervised and attended by Jolie. However, over time, things began to change. Brad pushed to take a more active role in his children's lives, and once the children reached 28, he moved past the stage of supervised visits. Eventually, he was allowed unrestricted phone calls and text messages, a notable step forward. Then, on May 20th to 21st, Judge John Outer Kirk granted Brad joint custody of the children, a hopeful moment, suggesting the tide might be turning. But the celebration was short-lived. Within 3 months, Jolie's legal team uncovered a potential conflict of interest involving Judge Outer Kirk. The ruling was overturned, and the custody saga spiraled back into legal chaos. The long battle. The fallout between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie went far beyond their personal relationship, reaching the heart of their shared assets. At the center of it all stood Chateau Miraval, a stunning estate located in the Provence region of southern France. More than just a luxury property, it held deep emotional significance. It was the site of their intimate 2014 wedding, witnessed only by their 6 children. But what was once a symbol of unity quickly became the battleground of a bitter new war. In the years following their separation, Pitt filed a lawsuit against Jolie in a Luxembourg court, accusing her of intentionally trying to sell her stake in the property without his consent. According to Pitt, this action violated a formal agreement they both signed, which required either party wanting to sell to first offer their share to the other before selling to outsiders. The lawsuit painted a picture of deception. Pitt accused Jolie of deliberately delaying financial approvals and stalling management renewals to sabotage operations. However, the conflict was more complex than it appeared. Chateau Miraval wasn't just a home, it was also a business venture run through a holding company. Pitt originally owned 60% and Jolie 40%. Before their split, he transferred 10% of his shares to her, making them equal shareholders. Together, they built Miraval into a prestigious brand, globally known for its award-winning rosé wine. Jolie's alleged attempt to sell her stake without consent was seen by Pitt's team as a calculated move to cut him out and potentially damage the company's reputation. This wasn't just about land or money, it was about legacy control and dismantling an empire they once dreamed of building together. In 2024, the legal battle reached a turning point when a California judge ruled in Pitt's favor. The court found that Jolie had breached their agreement by trying to sell her shares without approval. For Pitt, it was a rare victory, a chance to protect what remained of their shared dream. It's hard to believe the same two people once spoke of each other with such admiration. Jolie's alleged attempt to sell her stake without consent was seen by Pitt's team as a calculated move to cut him out and potentially damage the company's reputation. This wasn't just about land or money, it was about legacy control and dismantling an empire they once dreamed of building together. In 2024, the legal battle reached a turning point when a California judge ruled in Pitt's favor. The court found that Jolie had breached their agreement by trying to sell her shares without approval. For Pitt, it was a rare victory, a chance to protect what remained of their shared dream. It's hard to believe the same two people once spoke of each other with such admiration. The private jet incident turned into a public scandal, transforming Brangelina from a fairy tale into a courtroom saga. As fans followed every twist and turn, Shiloh and her siblings continue to live with those scars. They became tabloid headlines, and for some, a burden. Whether the two youngest children will one day follow their siblings and drop the Pitt name remains uncertain. Only time will tell. The daughters follow suit. It's not just Maddox slamming the door on Brad Pitt, his sisters are walking through it too. After years of tension and emotional distance, it seems each of Brad's children is choosing sides, and it's not his. First up is Zahara Marley Jolie, who made a quiet yet powerful statement in 2023 during a sorority induction ceremony that went viral online. In the video, she confidently introduced herself with style and without any trace of her father's last name. "My name is Zahara Marley Jolie," she proudly declared, flipping her hair and performing the signature steps of her new sisterhood. "I'm from the Golden State, the city of Angels, Los Angeles, California. I'm number 7 in this line. The message was loud and clear. Brad Pitt was no longer part of the story. No more Pitt. Next came Vivian Jolie Brad, and Angelina's youngest daughter. In 2024, she made a subtle yet meaningful move. While working on the Broadway musical The Outsiders, co-produced by her mother Vivian, appeared in the official playbill not as Vivian Jolie Pitt, but simply as Vivian Jolie. She was only 15, but her choice echoed the footsteps of her older siblings. Another child, another Pitt missing. Brad once proudly fathered 6 children united under one famous last name. Now, as each child steps into adulthood, that name is quietly being dropped one by one, inside the Jolie Pitt legacy. Before we dive into the recent revelations that have everyone talking and, yes, confirming long-held suspicions, it's important to look back at the journey of the Pitt family and the key milestones that shaped their story. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, the power couple who once defined Hollywood royalty, met in 2003 while filming Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Despite the personal turmoil surrounding them, Jolie, as a single mother, and Brad, still married to Jennifer Aniston, their connection was immediate and undeniable. In 2007, Jolie told Vogue that their relationship began more as a partnership than a whirlwind romance. They found joy in working together, growing from collaborators into lifelong partners. Their love story defied all Hollywood expectations, blossoming into a unique and powerful bond. Soon after, their home became a haven for a family of 6 each, with a distinct background and journey. Maddox from Cambodia, Pax Thien from Vietnam, Zahara, Marley from Ethiopia, their first biological child, Shiloh Neville, born in 2006, and the twins Knox Leon and Vivian Marceline, born in 2008. By 2005, Brad and Jennifer finalized their divorce. This was the turning point that led Brad to embrace fatherhood alongside Angelina. Their journey into parenthood officially began when Angelina adopted Maddox in 2002. In 2005, they welcomed Zahara into the family, and soon after, Brad legally adopted both children. The arrival of Shiloh brought immense joy. Pax joined the family in 2007, followed by the birth of the twins in 2008, completing their circle of love and diversity. Angelina often expressed that her multicultural family deeply enriched their lives. She frequently emphasized the warmth and strength their home embodied despite living under Hollywood's bright spotlight. Even the name Shiloh, meaning peace, symbolized the calm they longed for in their growing household. As the family expanded, so did their bond. In January 2006, a Los Angeles judge approved the name changes for Maddox and Zahara, officially recognizing them as Jolie Pitt. This was a significant moment representing the couple's unity, blending adoption and biology into one seamless family. Despite the challenges of raising 6 children under intense scrutiny, Brad and Angelina embraced their roles as parents wholeheartedly. In a candid interview with Vogue on September 20th, 2023, Angelina praised her children as her greatest source of strength and purpose in overcoming personal hardships. So what changed? What led to Shiloh being excluded from Brad's massive fortune? Why her of all the children? Let's find out, because the answers reveal more than you might expect. Meet the Jolie Pitt kids. To truly understand Shiloh's story, we need to look at the world she was born into, a world shaped by resilience, transformation, and a very public legacy. Maddox, China. Jolie Pitt, the eldest sibling, was born in 2001 in Cambodia and spent his early years in an orphanage. Those early experiences forged in him a rare blend of empathy and inner strength. From a young age, he was drawn to global issues and filmmaking. Eventually, he took on a significant role as executive producer on his mother's film about the Cambodian genocide, contributing both emotionally and artistically to a story that mirrored his roots. Zahara Marley Jolie Pitt, born in Ethiopia in 2005, joined the family after Angelina discovered she was in urgent need of care at an orphanage. Over the years, Zahara has grown into a poised young woman with a strong social conscience and a passion for philanthropy. She even launched her own jewelry line, the Zahara Collection. In November 2023, she joined the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority at Spelman College, a deliberate step reflecting her commitment to service, sisterhood, and identity. Then there's Shiloh novel Jolie Pitt, born in 2006, the first biological child of Brad and Angelina. Born in Namibia, under the watchful eyes of the world, Shiloh has always stood out, not just because she's in the spotlight, but because of her strong sense of identity and deep emotional connection with her mother. From a young age, she accompanied Angelina on humanitarian missions, not as a photo opportunity, but as an engaged, active participant fully aware of the causes they were championing together. Pax Jolie Pitt, adopted from Vietnam in 2007, symbolizes personal transformation. From life in an orphanage to the freedom and support of the Jolie Pitt family, Pax has quietly evolved into a private individual who has found his own rhythm outside the spotlight. His growth reflects not only the opportunities he was given, but also how he chose to embrace them. The youngest members of the family, twins, Knox Layan and Vivian Marceline, born in 2008, quickly captured public attention. Vivian, in particular, made an early mark in the entertainment world by appearing alongside Angelina in Maleficent. Her natural charm and ease on screen hinted at a raw talent, one she continues to explore as she now collaborates with her mother on the Broadway musical The Outsiders. A project that feels like a generational handoff within the family's artistic legacy. Despite being one of the most famous families in the world, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt have worked hard to give their children freedom, the freedom to explore, to question, and to develop their own identities. Their parenting philosophy centers on emotional honesty and individuality. While outsiders see privilege and fame inside their home, the focus has always been on giving each child space to grow without needing to fit any mold. And this brings us to Shiloh, not just the famous daughter, but a young woman shaped by love, contrast, and responsibility. Growing up in a home full of energy and complexity, with older siblings like Maddox and Zahara paving their own unique paths, Shiloh stepped into a dynamic family structure. Next came Pax, and finally the twins, adding new voices to the Jolie Pitt symphony. Angelina, who once doubted motherhood due to her own tumultuous childhood, later shared with Time magazine that becoming a mother wasn't a difficult choice. It was the right one. The challenge, she said, wasn't loving her children, but making sure she was doing right by them. She never aimed for perfection. What she believed children needed most wasn't perfect parenting, it was truth. That meant allowing them to grow in their strengths, and especially in their vulnerabilities, to fall and get back up to become their own people even when it wasn't easy. For Angelina, parenting was always a two-way mirror. Her children shaped her just as much as she shaped them. If you enjoyed this video, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, let me know with a 0. I truly appreciate your feedback. Shiloh's spark. From the very beginning, Angelina Jolie described Shiloh as a little gem, a child with a spark that couldn't be missed. Even in her earliest years, Shiloh's personality radiated something vibrant and unmistakably unique. Angelina often saw reflections of herself in her daughter, even joking about a mischievous streak that suggested Shiloh might be a bit rebellious. Brad was also captivated by her emerging character and openly expressed hope that each of his children, including Shiloh, would one day find their own voice and carve their own path in life. Shiloh's birth in Namibia in 2006 was more than just a family moment, it became a global headline. Local officials expressed joy and pride in welcoming the Jolie Pitt baby. Under Namibian law, she was eligible for citizenship if her parents chose. Just 2 months after her birth, Shiloh's celebrity status was cemented when Madame Tussauds in New York unveiled a wax figure of her as an infant, nestled between her proud parents beside her crib. It wasn't just a tribute to fame. It was a symbol of love, pride, and a new chapter in the Jolie Pitt legacy. But even as the world rushed to label her a celebrity baby, Shiloh began quietly carving out her own identity. Her life has undoubtedly been shaped by privilege, but it has also been intertwined with more universal themes. Growing up discovering herself and finding her place within a very public family navigating the complexities of childhood in the spotlight, Shiloh continued to show signs of a future that promised to be anything but ordinary. That promise first flickered in 2008 when baby Shiloh made her unofficial Hollywood debut alongside her father in the Oscar-winning film The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It was a fleeting moment on screen, but caught attention nonetheless. Industry insiders and audiences alike took notice, but as she grew older, it became clear that Shiloh wasn't entirely comfortable living in the cinematic spotlight her parents had long held. When Angelina's Maleficent was in production, Shiloh was initially offered the role of young Aurora. But instead of taking the dreamy fairy tale role, Shiloh laughed and declined, saying she'd rather play a creature with horns. Ultimately, that role went to her younger sister Vivian, while Shiloh later lent her voice to the character Shui in Kung Fu Panda 3 in 2016. For Brad and Angelina, that decision wasn't a disappointment, it was a success. Both parents made it clear they never wanted to confine their children to acting nor idolize the entertainment industry. Angelina, in particular, believed in letting her kids explore every path available to them, especially those unrelated to red carpets or box office hits. Shiloh's own path. In recent years, Shiloh Jolie Pitt has quietly stepped into her own spotlight not as the daughter of Hollywood royalty, but as a rising young style icon with a distinct voice and vision. Drawing clear inspiration from her mother's bold fashion sense, Shiloh made headlines in 2021 at the London premiere of Eternals, where she stunned in a striking black and white Dior dress. That style wasn't just a nod to elegance. It was a subtle echo of Angelina's signature fashion, reimagined through Shiloh's youthful lens. Angelina has been openly supportive of Shiloh's choices, often emphasizing the importance of allowing children the freedom to explore and express their identity through clothing, creativity, and confidence. Though Shiloh has never spoken publicly about it, she has been spotted multiple times entering and exiting a well-known dance studio in Los Angeles, hinting at a deepening passion for movement and rhythm. What's especially telling is Brad Pitt's own remark about dancing. He admits he's never been particularly skilled, but he finds real joy in it. That small detail offers a glimpse into how something as simple as dancing has begun to play an increasingly important role in their lives, perhaps even as a quiet personal connection between father and daughter. Over time, Shiloh has become a familiar presence on the red carpet, not as a reluctant tag-along, but as someone confidently standing beside her parents at some of their biggest premieres. From Unbroken and Dumbo to First They Killed My Father, Maleficent and again, Eternals, Shiloh walked the red carpet with grace and poise. One of the most touching moments came in 2014 at the premiere of Unbroken. While Angelina was battling illness, Shiloh and her siblings stood alongside her, showcasing the family's strength and unity. It wasn't just another glamorous night in Hollywood. It was a moment of resilience, solidarity, and love. But Shiloh's story isn't confined to designer gowns and camera flashes. Beyond the glitter of premieres, she has accompanied her parents on global missions, humanitarian journeys that have shaped her far more deeply than any spotlight ever could. In 2018, Shiloh accompanied her family to the Zatari refugee camp in Jordan, where she offered not only help, but genuine connection and compassion. These trips took her to Cambodia, Bosnia, Ethiopia, and beyond experiences Angelina described as profoundly transformative for the entire family. Even at a young age, Shiloh showed a sincere commitment to making a difference. Whether through humanitarian work, cultural exploration, or simply learning to listen and engage with communities in need, her actions reflect a growing empathy that far exceeds her years. Beneath the glamour, fashion, and legacy lies a heart driven by compassion and a future that looks increasingly purposeful. The story of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's divorce has kept the world watching every twist and turn and unraveling far longer than their actual marriage. Now, as their 6 children grow weary of the never-ending legal battle, they are reportedly urging both parents to end the chaos and finally move on. It all began in 2016. Just 2 years after their glamorous wedding, when Angelina shocked the public by filing for divorce. Citing irreconcilable differences, her move sparked a legal storm centered around custody of their children. Brad pushed for joint physical and legal custody, triggering a drawn-out and intense courtroom battle that lasted for years. Though Angelina initiated the divorce, she has been accused of dragging out the proceedings, with some insiders suggesting she was driven by resentment and a desire for revenge over the breakup. Meanwhile, Brad, now sober-focused and clear-headed, has tried to hold his ground, resisting Angelina's demands while calling for closure. The core issue from the start remained custody, but as many of the children have grown and begun making their own choices, the dynamic has shifted. Most are reportedly supporting their father and urging their mother to let go of the past and find peace. It seems Angelina is torn between the need for closure and unresolved bitterness toward Brad. While Brad has long signaled his willingness to end this battle, both sides have spent enormous amounts on legal fees. Many observers have called the entire ordeal absurd. A temporary custody agreement was reached in late September, requiring both parties to participate in family counseling. Brad agreed to drug and alcohol testing, demonstrating his cooperation and readiness to move forward. One month later, a judge approved an arrangement granting Angelina physical custody, while Brad was allowed supervised visits based on a family therapist's discretion. However, even this didn't resolve the conflict. Brad continued pushing for more time with the children while the legal battle grew increasingly complex. Beyond the emotional toll, the prolonged litigation shattered the family's peace. The children made one thing clear: they want an end to the chaos. They want their parents to find common ground, close this painful chapter, and give them the stability they deserve. But just as the public thought the storm might settle, a new wave hit. In a shocking legal revelation, Angelina made explosive allegations amid the ongoing court proceedings. The accusations stunned even the most jaded observers. At the center of it all was Brad Pitt's estimated $300 million fortune, which only deepened the rift between the former spouses. In newly filed court documents, Angelina described a disturbing incident aboard the 2016 private flight. She accused Brad of grabbing her by the head, shaking her violently, and even choking one of their children. The details didn't stop there. According to Jolie, Brad also poured beer on her and, more alarmingly, spilled both beer and red wine on their children during the same flight. The shocking nature of these allegations sent waves through the media, peeling back the carefully constructed image of their glamorous past relationship to reveal something much darker. Brad Pitt responded not with public anger but with introspection. He acknowledged that he is still on a personal journey of growth and facing ongoing inner conflicts. Now the world is left grappling with two conflicting images of the same man, the admired actor known for his talent, and the complex figure entangled in one of the most brutal celebrity divorces in recent memory. We truly appreciate you sticking with us and watching this video. Leave a 2 in the comments to let me know you're still here with us. You are Shiloh's strength. Amid the chaos of courtrooms and headlines, one figure has quietly emerged as a symbol of resilience and hope: Shiloh Jolie Pitt. Despite the storms surrounding her family, she has maintained a strong bond with her father since childhood. But recently, in a quiet yet meaningful move, Shiloh removed her father's last name from her social media profiles. That subtle act speaks volumes. It not only reflects the emotional burden of her parents' legal battle, but also the uncertainty hanging over the future of their fractured family. Shiloh's journey of self-discovery has been anything but ordinary. As the daughter of two iconic Hollywood stars, she grew up in a world with almost no room for privacy. Yet she has always carved out space to be herself. By the age of 14, she had quietly become an inspiration to the LGBTQ+ community, challenging stereotypes and embracing her authentic self. In a 2008 interview with Oprah Winfrey, Brad Pitt revealed that young Shiloh liked to be called John or Peter in honor of the character Peter Pan. It wasn't just a passing phase, it was an early and clear sign of self-awareness, a child asking the world to see them as they felt inside. By age 20, Angelina opened up to Vanity Fair, sharing that since the age of 3, Shiloh had expressed a strong desire to be a boy. She preferred boyish clothes, short haircuts, and felt more aligned with her brothers than her sisters. Angelina, always fiercely protective of her children's individuality, has wholeheartedly supported Shiloh's journey. She has spoken openly about the importance of nurturing identity, rather than imposing labels, turning Shiloh into a quiet role model for countless young people navigating the same questions around gender and self. Her name holds more meaning than most realize. In another interview with Vanity Fair, Angelina revealed that Shiloh is a name deeply significant to both her and Brad. Originally chosen for a child they lost during pregnancy, the name is tied to memories of filming in Georgia and was even used by Angelina as an alias while staying in hotels. It's not just a name, it's a legacy. In early 2020, Shiloh faced health challenges. While the details remain private, Angelina revealed in a Time article for International Women's Day that both Shiloh and her sister Zahara underwent surgery. Without disclosing specifics, she emphasized the importance of sharing their experiences not for attention, but to remind others of the strength and care needed to raise girls facing challenges. Despite the bitter custody battle between her parents, Shiloh has grown into an emotionally strong young woman. Currently, Angelina holds full custody while Brad retains visitation rights. However, their family remains entangled not only emotionally, but financially as well. Angelina's recent sale of her shares in the Chateau Miraval winery could shift the balance of ownership, adding another layer of complexity to the tangled legacy of their marriage. Amid it all, Shiloh has maintained remarkable composure. The infamous 2016 private jet incident, where Angelina accused Brad of assault and endangering their children, left lasting trauma especially for Shiloh. At just 16 years old, she and her siblings found themselves at the emotional epicenter of the turmoil. Witnessing their mother's distress during that harrowing flight left an indelible mark. Yet in 2024, Shiloh continues to rise. She shows a rare strength not born from privilege, but from the ability to survive and overcome it. Shiloh's rise. The story of Shiloh Jolie Pitt resonates with many. From growing up in the shadow of her parents' painful divorce to quietly becoming a confident young adult with her own identity, Shiloh's journey is one of strength, resilience, and self-discovery. In 2024, the narrative began to shift. No longer solely focused on the drama between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, attention turned to their children, especially Shiloh, whose journey reflects what it truly means to rise above chaos. While Brad grappled with his past and fought for sobriety, and Angelina continued her work as a director and actress, Shiloh grew stronger quietly, steadily becoming a symbol of hope for a generation navigating complicated family dynamics. Her story reminds us all that young people can survive instability, grow through adversity, and shine on the other side. When Shiloh turned 17, what should have been a moment of shared celebration instead became another point of tension. Instead of a traditional birthday party, Angelina took Shiloh to Jamaica, an event reportedly leaving Brad feeling excluded. But while the adults clashed behind the scenes, Shiloh's passion took center stage. Her dance performances have captivated over 10,500 subscribers on an unofficial YouTube channel called Shiloh Jolie Pitt Dance. Filmed at the renowned Millennium Dance Complex in Los Angeles, a hotspot for industry professionals and stars like Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, her routines showcase her growing talent and dedication. Shiloh's dance routines burst with raw talent and infectious energy. Whether it's Rihanna, Dua Lipa, Bruno Mars, or Christina Aguilera, Shiloh commands the stage with bold choreography and unwavering confidence. Now preparing to turn 18 this coming May, Shiloh remains a part of the iconic Jolie Pitt family alongside Maddox Pax Zahara and the twins Knox and Vivian. Though her parents publicly separated in 2016 and divorced in 2019, the family bond endures. Both Angelina and Brad express pride in watching their children grow, develop, and find their own passions. For Shiloh, dance has become more than a hobby. It's her way of claiming her space, her rhythm, and her voice. Though the legal battle over the Chateau Miraval estate continues between her parents, Shiloh remains focused on movement, music, and momentum. The Hollywood red carpet may still call her name, but her true spotlight now shines on the dance floor where every spin and step is a form of liberation. At the Bullet Train premiere in Los Angeles, Brad couldn't hide his emotions. Watching Shiloh shine brought tears to his eyes, a father's awe, a deeply human moment. It's proof that Shiloh is no longer just part of a famous family. She is becoming a force in her own right. Because for Shiloh Jolie Pitt, the stage is no longer lit just by flashbulbs. It's alive with rhythm, purpose, and the unmistakable beat of a rising star. What do you think about Shiloh's revelation? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Johnny Depp returns to Hollywood with a completely new look that many people barely recognize. From a charming star, he now appears with a surprising image that grabs everyone's attention. In today's video, we'll explore Johnny Depp's transformation and the story behind this dramatic comeback. If you're impressed by Johnny Depp's new look, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, comment 0. Don't forget to enjoy the video and hit subscribe to support the channel. I have plenty of exciting videos coming your way. At 63 years old, Johnny Depp finally spoke out after a long period of silence at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival. He dismissed all the negative rumors surrounding him and confirmed the doubts that the public had harbored for many years about his turbulent journey. From a Hollywood icon known for his legendary role as Jack Sparrow, to the center of a shocking scandal involving Amber Heard, Johnny Depp has endured challenges and pain that few stars have had to face. Now, Depp has chosen a new path completely different from his glamorous past. He has stepped away from the spotlight and openly started a surprising new chapter in his life. This bold decision has not only kept fans closely watching his every move, but also promises to shed light on the full story behind his sudden disappearance and dramatic comeback. Depp's departure from Hollywood is not just a simple retreat, it also speaks to his deep disappointment with an industry he once saw as the place that lifted him to the peak of fame, yet also the place where he endured constant scrutiny and criticism. After being dropped from major film projects, Depp quickly realized that America's entertainment hub was no longer a place for him. In 2023, he decided to leave Los Angeles, the heart of the global film industry, and seek peace in Somerset, a peaceful countryside area in England, where he owns a property spanning over 800,000 square meters. This is where Johnny Depp wants to put his past behind him and start a new life away from the noise of the media and the spotlight. Johnny Depp didn't announce any retirement plans, nor did he hold a grand farewell tour like many other stars. He simply disappeared from major media outlets and the red carpet events that once served as his stage. A year has passed since his move to Somerset with no public appearances or photos of Depp, leaving many fans wondering about his future. In an interview with a local newspaper, Depp shared a brief yet profound statement: "I no longer live to be noticed. I live to be at peace." This phrase stands as a powerful declaration of the shift in mindset and lifestyle of one of Hollywood's most talented yet turbulent stars. The statement quickly spread across social media. It was the declaration of someone who had deliberately stepped away from the empire that once brought him to the peak of fame. But that peace did not mean disappearing from public life. On the contrary, Johnny Depp began to rebuild his presence through entirely different platforms. His paintings, mainly portraits and surreal works, have brought in over $5 million at auctions within just a few months. Limited edition prints priced up to $50,000 each often sell out before they even reach the public. His pieces were showcased at the 2024 exhibition A Bunch of Stuff in New York, drawing hundreds of visitors from passionate fans to seasoned collectors. At the exhibition, Depp shared, "Painting is how I express what words cannot, revealing that art has become a refuge for his suppressed emotions." Music also plays a vital role in Depp's new life. As a member of the band Hollywood Vampires alongside Alice Cooper and Joe Perry, he has performed on numerous stages across Europe, including Germany's Wacken open-air festival Twi and several venues in France. The performances where Depp plays guitar and provides backing vocals have received positive feedback from audiences, proving he remains a captivating stage artist. Songs like their cover of David Bowie's Heroes carry Depp's personal touch, an artist who has always seen himself as an outsider in the entertainment world. "I wish I could swim," he once said. Though no longer acting in films, Depp remains one of the most successful global brand ambassadors. Johnny Depp has become a powerful brand icon despite his absence from the screen. The Dior Sage fragrance line with Depp as its face broke global sales records in 2024. All promotional videos used archival footage. He didn't need to appear in new ads, yet his name still maintained strong appeal for the brand. Dior not only renewed their contract with him, but also expanded Depp's presence at fashion events in Paris, where he was welcomed as a cultural icon. A media executive candidly remarked Depp no longer needs Hollywood to survive, and that's exactly what scares Hollywood. Although he no longer acts in films, he remains a top, powerful brand icon. Major studios like Marvel, Warner Brothers, and Netflix are said to have been turned down when seeking to collaborate with Depp. Veteran directors, such as Tim Burton and Terry Gilliam, have eagerly invited him to participate but received no response. A close insider revealed, he doesn't want to be defined by any role anymore. He used to be an icon. Now he just wants to be himself. Depp now lives life on his own terms. Every month, Johnny Depp continues to receive numerous invitations to join major and minor film projects. However, he rarely responds or agrees to participate. Throughout 2024, he declined invitations to 3 of the world's most prestigious film festivals, Venice, Cannes, and Berlin. Nevertheless, his name still appears on Variety magazine's list of the most influential figures in the global entertainment industry, a clear testament to Depp's lasting appeal and influence, despite his near disappearance from public events. With no new films released and no appearances in public or on red carpets, Johnny Depp remains one of the most talked-about names daily among media and fans. No one truly knows whether he plans to return to the film industry, but if he does, it surely won't be a quiet or silent comeback. Beneath his calm and reserved exterior lie emotional wounds that have never fully healed. The lengthy trial, which seemed to have ended in 2022, still echoes in Depp's mind, becoming a painful memory that's hard to erase. In magazine features, rather than dwelling on the painful past, he now appears to have found a greater sense of peace to move forward. In May 2016, a major turning point occurred in Depp's life when Amber Heard, his second wife, filed for divorce after just 15 months of marriage. But it didn't stop at the divorce proceedings. Heard publicly accused Depp of physical and emotional abuse, even releasing a photo showing her bruised face as concrete evidence of her claims. Immediately, the story became a global media sensation, drawing intense attention from the public and press alike. While Depp did not respond right away, public opinion quickly assumed his guilt, severely damaging the actor's image and career. With the story stirring up so much controversy, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about the leaked recording and the allegations surrounding Johnny Depp? Leave your comments below, share your views, and join the conversation with everyone. Don't forget to hit like if you find the video helpful and subscribe to the channel for more exciting content updates. International media relentlessly labeled Depp as an abuser, severely damaging his reputation. Numerous human rights organizations also voiced criticism against him, while online communities launched boycott campaigns calling to reject all projects involving Depp. Less than 3 weeks after the scandal broke, Disney, Depp's largest and most important partner, announced the suspension of their collaboration with him. This meant that the role of Jack Sparrow, the iconic character forever linked to Depp's name in the Pirates of the Caribbean series, was removed from all future film plans. It was a huge shock for both him and his fans. It didn't stop there. Warner Brothers, another major studio, also forced Depp to give up the role of Gellert Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series. Numerous advertising campaigns and endorsement deals featuring Depp as the face of products were canceled or abruptly terminated. In 2018, Depp faced another emotional blow when the British newspaper The Sun published an article calling him a wife-beater. Depp decided to sue the paper in a UK court to defend his reputation, but he lost the case in 2020. This outcome further damaged his credibility and public image significantly. Tabloid newspapers continued to publish numerous negative stories portraying Depp as a washed-up star and alcoholic or exhibiting erratic behavior, often based on unverified allegations. During this period, Depp almost completely withdrew from public life, avoiding lengthy interviews, limiting media appearances, and choosing to live more privately. A close source revealed that Depp felt deeply betrayed by the very industry he had devoted himself to and been honored by, especially as studios and partners severed ties with him swiftly without thoroughly investigating or verifying the facts. Johnny Depp's illustrious film career made him a global icon known for unforgettable roles like Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean series and the eccentric inventor in Edward Scissorhands. However, in the late 2010s, his image began to crumble amid complex legal and personal controversies, especially the highly publicized divorce from actress Amber Heard. Major studios started turning their backs on him, with big projects like Fantastic Beasts dropping him, raising concerns that the career of one of Hollywood's most talented actors was coming to an end. However, a major turning point occurred in early 2020. A leaked recording of a private conversation between Johnny Depp and Amber Heard shocked the global public. In the recording, Heard not only admitted to hitting Depp, but also mocked his reaction with shocking words, "I slapped you. So what, you're not a child?" This statement immediately sparked a strong wave of outrage, especially among fans who had previously remained silent in the face of accusations against Depp. From there, social media exploded with the hashtag #JusticeForJohnnyDepp, spreading rapidly and attracting millions of shares. Those who once admired Depp now spoke out in his support, calling for a full review of the case and condemning the unfair, one-sided judgment of the actor by the public. This significant shift in public perception not only helped Depp regain some of his honor, but also opened a new chapter as many began to question how the media handled the truth and reconsider the biases in cases involving domestic violence. In early 2022, Depp filed a defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard in Virginia based on an op-ed she wrote for The Washington Post, in which she described herself as a public figure representing victims of domestic violence. Although the article did not mention Depp by name, he argued that its content clearly harmed his personal image and professional career. Depp also insisted that he never abused her, and that in fact he was the one who suffered emotional harm in the relationship. The trial lasted 6 weeks and was broadcast live across the United States and internationally. Both sides presented a series of evidence, including private messages, sensitive photos, and audio recordings. Over 100 hours of testimony, 30 witnesses, and hundreds of documents were submitted to the court. Witnesses, including former employees and friends of the couple, testified that Amber Heard exhibited controlling and aggressive behavior. One shocking detail was the allegation that Heard had urinated on Depp's bed as an act of revenge, which she denied, blaming their dog instead. These moments, though dramatic, exposed the chaos within their relationship. During one hearing, Depp recounted being hit by a glass bottle that severed the tip of his finger. His personal doctor confirmed the injury was severe enough to expose the bone. A bodyguard described Depp as disoriented, his bandages soaked with blood, unable to speak due to significant blood loss. In 2022, the jury ruled in favor of Depp, ordering Amber Heard to pay significant damages, while Depp was also required to pay a smaller amount for defamatory statements made by his lawyer. The verdict not only restored Depp's reputation, but also marked an important victory in public opinion. Amber Heard later moved to Spain, distancing herself from the media spotlight. Meanwhile, Depp received widespread public support, with millions of fans expressing joy and relief across social media platforms. However, the legal victory did not erase the emotional wounds Depp had endured. According to close sources, he barely communicated with anyone for 2 months after the trial ended. In a private letter to Leond, he wrote, "I'm not doing this for revenge. I'm doing this to survive." No longer a fallen star, he has become a symbol of someone who once stumbled, but rose again, even if alone. Yet beneath that calm exterior lies something forever changed: his faith in the system. For Johnny Depp, the trial was not a liberation, but a permanent scar. A veteran French director who met Depp after the trial recalled, "He was calm, polite, but his eyes were empty, as if the rest of him had been left behind in that courtroom." Inside his Somerset home, Depp keeps all the legal documents from the trial in a separate room. Recordings, handwritten letters, messages, medical reports, all carefully stored. Not because he hasn't let go, but because he doesn't allow himself to forget. And from within those closed rooms, something else begins to take shape, a path not based on revenge, but far from easy. A new chapter in Johnny Depp's life is quietly unfolding, not to justify the past, but to be reborn in an unexpected way, a silent rebirth. Depp's comeback began at the 2023 Cannes Film Festival, where Jean du Barry, a French film featuring him as King Louis XV, was screened. This role marked his first major appearance since the Amber Heard trial and received a 7-minute standing ovation. The audience at Cannes, from critics to longtime fans, welcomed Depp as a symbol of resilience in the face of adversity. The event was not only a career milestone, but also a testament that Depp remains beloved, especially in Europe, where he found support that Hollywood had once denied him. The film later received mixed reviews from critics, but one thing was widely acknowledged: Johnny Depp's performance retained emotional depth, captivating charisma, and a compelling presence on screen. Director Maïwenn declared, "I didn't choose Johnny because of the scandal. I chose him because no one else could portray King Louis XV like he does." In 2025, Depp officially returned to Hollywood with the film Day Drinker, co-starring Penelope Cruz and directed by Mark Webb. The role is described as a deeply complex character haunted by inner demons, marking his comeback to commercial cinema after years away. Webb remarked that Depp's character is a wanderer in his own life and said, "I didn't need a movie star. I needed a wound that could act." and Johnny was the only one genuine enough. After Day Drinker, another invitation came from Terry Gilliam, one of the most eccentric directors in European cinema, for the role of Satan in Carnival at the End of Days. Gilliam explained that Depp was the only choice because he deeply understands darkness at its core, yet carries a strange calmness within. The project is currently in development and Depp has not officially confirmed the role, but this news has sparked excitement within the European art community. Invitations from renowned directors indicate that the film industry is beginning to reopen to Depp, despite his previous statements that he would not return to Hollywood. Depp's healthy lifestyle has become a key part of his personal rebirth. Since 2023, he has lost weight, taken better care of his appearance, and abandoned old habits that once earned him the media nickname, the Wild One. A close source confirmed that Depp has been completely sober since late 2022, changing his diet and incorporating light morning exercise into his routine. He did not enter rehab nor hire professional support. Everything happened quietly in his own way. A doctor in Somerset who conducts Depp's regular checkups reported that his cardiovascular health is stable, liver enzyme levels have improved, and there are no signs of relapse. Locals in Somerset, where Depp lives, often see him taking morning walks, reading books in the garden, or quietly participating in small community activities like donating to the local library. These simple details reflect a different image of Depp. He is no longer caught up in the whirlwind of parties and tabloid chaos. His physical transformation is accompanied by a mental shift. Depp no longer loses his temper or reacts harshly when pressed by the press. At an event in France, when a reporter mentioned Amber Heard, he simply replied, "That chapter is over. Let's not go back." Some speculate that he is merely playing the role of a normal Johnny Depp to repair his public image, but those close to him disagree. As director Mark Webb once said, Depp is no longer acting. He no longer has the energy to play himself. The clearest sign of his inner transformation is reflected in the art he creates today. The paintings in the A Bunch of Stuff exhibition no longer follow the commercial pop art style he once pursued. They are dark, empty, and filled with silence. A private gallery in Germany purchased the entire collection of 12 surreal works he painted in 2024, describing them as the creations of someone who has been through hell. His music has also become softer and simpler. In a privately released live recording, he plays an unamplified acoustic guitar, raw and intimate, whispering fragmented lyrics. Sometimes it's almost just a whisper. "I have nothing left to sing loudly," he once said during a band rehearsal. Silence has now become his main language. No bold statements, no explanations, and no desire to show off. Depp chooses to appear like an underground current present without seeking attention. He has declined memoir deals and refused interview requests after the trial. Publishers have offered millions, but he hasn't responded. In a private letter to director Terry Gilliam, Depp wrote, "I have lost every definition of myself. And when there was nothing left, I started again with the smallest thing I could hold on to myself. No one calls him a superstar anymore. European media now refer to him as a man caught between two worlds. One is Hollywood, the place that once celebrated then abandoned him. The other is the personal artistic space where he is rebuilding himself and he isn't trying to fully return to either side." Audiences once familiar with Depp through his blockbuster roles now recognize that he has transformed into a better version of himself. His rebirth is not just a comeback story, but a testament to endurance and overcoming adversity. His new roles, art exhibitions, and performances with Hollywood vampires all bear the mark of a deeper freedom, no longer bound by Hollywood's expectations. A healthy lifestyle focus on art and warm reception from European audiences affirm that he has found new meaning in life. Depp's journey of rebirth from Cannes 2023 to his projects in 2025 is a quiet yet powerful declaration. He not only survived his darkest chapters but emerged stronger because of them. Fans who once feared he would never return now witness an artist full of passion and vitality. This transformation, though unfolding in silence, carries the weight of a dramatic story, a star rediscovering the light after passing through darkness. No one knows how long this journey will last, but one thing is clear: it will not lead him back to where he started. Because after everything, a final truth quietly emerges, a silent affirmation strong enough to close a chapter that was misunderstood for so long. Johnny Depp's story is not the triumphant comeback of a fallen star. It is the survival of someone who weathered an unknown storm and emerged from it in a completely different form. Someone who no longer craves to be understood nor fears being misunderstood. If you believe this story deserves to be remembered, please leave a comment, share this post, and follow the channel, because sometimes the strongest voice is the one that spreads the furthest. Johnny Depp returns to Hollywood with a completely new look that many people barely recognize. From a charming star, he now appears with a surprising image that captures everyone's attention. Thank you for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed this content, please continue to support by liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel so you won't miss the latest videos. Don't forget to leave a comment and let me know your thoughts about Johnny Depp and his transformation. See you in the next videos. The legendary pop goddess Cher has now reached the age of 80, but her life is far from the glamorous image many envision. The world sees only the stage lights and fame, but behind the curtain lies a life filled with chaos, loss, and emotional wounds that never fully heal. In this video, you'll witness firsthand the struggles Cher has endured. These haunting moments might truly shock you. Let's dive in. If Cher's story behind the spotlight moved you, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Was there something in her journey that you deeply related to? Was there a moment that made you see the reality of fame in a whole new light? Hit that like button if you admire Cher's strength, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss more untold stories behind the world's greatest icons. Cher's parents, Georgia Holt and John Sarkisian, met when they were young. At the time, Georgia was working in a donut shop in Fresno, California, while John was a truck driver known for his charm and good looks. Their romance was brief but intense, and they married in a spontaneous Nevada ceremony full of youthful hope and impulsiveness. However, things didn't turn out as they had imagined. Georgia soon realized marriage wasn't what she truly wanted and left shortly after. After some persuasion, she agreed to try again for 3 months. But before those months were up, she was pregnant with Cher. When Cher was just 10 months old, her parents split for good. Though she didn't grow up close to her biological father, Cher retained a deep pride in the Armenian heritage he passed down to her. This heritage became a core part of her identity and would always hold significance in her life. Cher's early years were shaped by a series of changes, particularly through her mother's multiple marriages. Among them, her third stepfather, actor John Southall George, was the most present during her childhood. though that marriage ended when Cher was just 9 years old. Georgia Holt married a total of 7 times, including twice to Cher's biological father. In a 1978 interview, Georgia shared that societal expectations at the time pressured her to marry to maintain respectability, as living with a man without marriage was socially unacceptable. As a result, Cher's childhood was filled with transitions, new homes, new men in her life, and never a lasting relationship. Cher, the legendary pop goddess, has not only lived with fame, but also faced countless challenges in her life. Despite her stardom and brilliant career behind the stage lights, she endured profound loss, emotional wounds, and psychological pressures that were not easily overcome. Her life story is not just a journey of rising to the top, but also a lesson in resilience and the strength to overcome adversity. Cher's life began in a family fraught with instability. Her mother, Georgia Holt, and father, John Sarkeesian, married young, but their marriage was short-lived. After they separated when Cher was just 10 months old, she grew up in an unstable environment marked by her mother's multiple marriages. Georgia married 7 times in total, causing Cher's life to be in constant flux, moving from one home to another, living with grandparents or stepfathers. Despite this, Cher held fast to her pride in her Armenian heritage, which helped shape a vital part of her identity. Cher faced not only family challenges, but also struggled with material hardship. As a child, she often felt ashamed of her worn-out clothes and was scolded for ruining shoes, as her family couldn't afford replacements. Some weeks they lived in poverty, eating canned stew and beans, while at other times they resided in Beverly Hills. These stark contrasts painted a confusing picture of Cher's life, leaving her feeling caught between dreams and harsh realities. At just 16, Cher dropped out of school to pursue her passion for music. She moved to Los Angeles with hope and determination, where she met Sonny Bono. Their relationship evolved from a simple musical collaboration into a deep romance. Together, they created breakout hits like I Got You, Babe, becoming household names in the music industry. However, their career wasn't always smooth. Despite early success, their film Good Times and subsequent projects fell short of expectations, forcing them to seek a new path. Cher and Sonny's relationship was not just musical, but a full partnership in their career. As their career waned and emotional pressures mounted, they decided to try performing in Las Vegas. This marked a shift from music stars to seasoned stage performers. The move not only salvaged their career, but also restored their stardom, with the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour, launching in 1971 and becoming a major success. However, their personal relationship grew increasingly strained and unsustainable. Despite maintaining the image of a happy couple for their career, Cher and Sonny divorced in 1974. After the split, Cher faced significant financial challenges, leaving the marriage with little to her name. This was a painful turning point, especially for someone who had trusted Sonny to manage their finances. Despite enduring numerous financial and emotional hardships, Cher has continued to forge her path, not only in music, but also in television and film. Challenges have not defeated her. Instead, they have shaped her into a resilient woman, a living icon of strength and recovery. Cher's life, from losses and struggles to relentless reinvention in her career, paints an inspiring portrait, a testament to the resilience and strength to overcome challenges that many cannot imagine. Cher invested so much into her partnership with Sonny, not just her talent, but years of dedication. Their split marked the end of an era, and while it opened the door to her solo career, it came at a heavy emotional and financial cost. It was a painful transitional chapter in Cher's life, letting go of a bond that had defined her for over a decade and starting over from scratch, with only her resilience, her voice, and her will to survive. Though she shined on television, few knew the storm she was weathering behind the scenes. After ending her partnership with Sonny, Cher found herself at a crossroads for the first time in years. She stepped into the spotlight alone, without a partner to lean on and no financial cushion. Many believed her career would fade without the duo that had made her famous. Yet, true to her nature, Cher refused to vanish. She launched her own television show, simply called Cher. It was a leap into the unknown, especially after being told she wouldn't succeed without Sonny by her side. But, defying expectations, the show became a hit. Audiences embraced her as a solo artist, proving that her star power depended on no one else. While Cher's show thrived, Sonny's The Sonny Comedy Review struggled and was canceled after just one season. But Cher's career path wasn't without its own challenges. Her 1975 album Stars failed to make a significant impact and slipped down the charts. Her follow-up, I'd Rather Believe in You, in 1976, performed even worse, missing the charts entirely. Still, she persisted, releasing Cherished in 1977, but it met a similar fate. Despite her efforts, the reception remained lukewarm. Next, she collaborated with her new husband, musician Gregg Allman, on the album To the Hard Way. But fans responded coldly, and the project quickly fizzled out. In 1978, Cher's career seemed to lose momentum. Warner Brothers dropped her contract, ushering in a new period of instability. This chapter in Cher's life was a quiet struggle, a fight to prove herself once more in an industry that often celebrated reinvention, but rarely made room for true innovation. It was not just a test of her talent, but of her resilience. Yet Cher had already shown the world she could rise from personal losses. Now, she had to rise again, this time from the weight of professional setbacks. Shortly after finalizing her divorce from Sonny, Cher's life took an unexpected turn. In 1975, she began a whirlwind romance with Gregg Allman, the renowned musician and frontman of the Allman Brothers Band. Just 3 days after her split from Sonny was official, Cher and Gregg tied the knot. However, a mere 9 days after the wedding, Cher filed for divorce. Life with Gregg was a stark contrast to anything she had known, marked by a lifestyle she wasn't prepared for. Their relationship was tumultuous, yet there were glimmers of hope for reconciliation. A month later, Cher and Gregg reconciled, attempting once more to build something meaningful. However, the challenges persisted, and Cher made the tough decision to reunite with Sonny to relaunch their variety show in 1976. This move added strain to her marriage with Gregg. The demands of fame, distance, and unresolved tensions made moving forward increasingly difficult. Ultimately, Gregg filed for divorce. Cher pressed on through her challenging journey. When she discovered she was pregnant with Greg's child, the news shifted her path once again. Despite their best efforts, the relationship couldn't find true peace. In 1978, they parted ways for good. Reflecting on the relationship, Cher expressed her feelings with few but profound words. It was a deep connection, but their time together was fraught with challenges, leaving a lasting mark on both their lives. Cher moved forward with grace, cherishing memories that were both joyful and bittersweet. After enduring pain and moving forward step by step, this chapter wasn't just about a failed marriage, but also about daring to hope and facing harsh realities. Cher learned that love, even with a willing heart, sometimes isn't enough. Following the end of her marriage to Greg Allman, Cher found herself at another crossroads. Her music career was faltering, and the industry she once dominated seemed to move on without her. But Cher, ever resilient, refused to give up. Cher signed with Casablanca Records, an iconic label known for its strong presence in the disco era. Though deeply rooted in rock, Cher agreed to explore a new sound and recorded Take Me Home, a track infused with disco's pulsing rhythms and aesthetic. Ironically, the genre she had hesitated to embrace catapulted her back into the spotlight. Take Me Home became a much-needed hit, bold and seductive, unlike anything she had done before. Alongside this, Cher's image transformed, and she was reborn as a disco queen. Despite her initial success with disco, maintaining that peak was far from easy. Later that year, Cher released the album Prisoner, initially intended to showcase both her rock and disco sides. However, the album failed to make a significant impact and didn't chart. Undeterred, Cher followed her heart and shifted her focus back to her rock roots. If you've ever felt lost between expectations and setbacks, remember Cher's story. Even though Prisoner didn't find the success she hoped for, she didn't stop. She listened to her heart and returned to her roots. Rock music. Drop a comment below. Have you ever had to pick yourself up after a fall? How did you find your way back to yourself? In 1980, Cher formed the band Black Rose with partner Les Dudek, aiming for a bolder, rebellious rock sound. However, the Black Rose album didn't achieve the success she hoped for. Many fans didn't realize she was the powerful voice behind it, and the project quickly faded into obscurity. Still, Cher never lost her determination. She pressed forward, always seeking new directions, forever chasing a space where she could feel at home. After setbacks in music and personal struggles, Cher made a bold decision. She shifted her focus to a completely new field, acting. This wasn't just a career change, but a leap of faith in herself. In 1983, she took on a supporting role in Silkwood, starring alongside Meryl Streep and Kurt Russell. The film, a powerful story based on the real-life events of Karen Silkwood, showcased Cher's performance, which stunned both audiences and critics. Her role earned her a Golden Globe and an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actress. With this performance, Cher proved she was more than a singer or entertainer. She was a serious actress with depth and heart. This marked a pivotal turning point in her career. Cher continued to redefine herself, overcoming challenges and achieving success in realms she had never imagined. Cher didn't just build her reputation in Hollywood, she proved her acting chops in critically acclaimed films like Mask and Suspect. These roles showcased her talent for drama and her ability to take on complex, layered characters. However, the moment that truly cemented her place in film history came in 1987, when she starred in Moonstruck, a romantic comedy that changed everything. As Loretta Castorini, an Italian-American widow torn between reason and passion, Cher delivered a performance that was both captivating and deeply moving. Her warmth, humor, and emotional honesty won over audiences and earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress. But this wasn't just a trophy, it was a powerful statement. A woman who had once been doubted, dismissed, and defined by her past had now become one of the most celebrated actresses of her time. This chapter in Cher's life is not just about success, but also about transformation. It's the moment when all the struggles, reinvention, and perseverance finally paid off. The girl who once felt out of place in school, the young woman wearing rubber-banded shoes, the artist who was told she wouldn't survive without a partner, now stands at the peak of Hollywood on her own. But life took an unexpected turn while filming The Witches of Eastwick in 1987. Cher began to feel unwell. Initially, the symptoms seemed mild, but they gradually became more serious, leading to a worsening health condition that deeply impacted her life for many years to come. Cher, who was always known for her energy and strength, suddenly had to face a virus that weakened both her body and mind. She contracted pneumonia and was forced to step away from work entirely for 2 years. She couldn't act, couldn't sing, and had to turn down roles she had long dreamed of. During that time, Cher shared with the New York Times that it was a silent pain, both physically and mentally excruciating. It was a sudden halt in her life and career, a challenge that Cher had to confront and overcome. She had to rebuild from what couldn't be seen, a strength that no one knew existed. Despite everything, Cher never lost her determination. When she returned, she was not only a singer or entertainer, but also a serious actress. Her relationship with Sonny had ended long before, but Cher never stopped recognizing his role in her life. By the late 1980s, Sonny had made a shift to a new field, politics, becoming the mayor of Palm Springs, California, before moving on to Congress. Although their romantic relationship had ended, the respect and gratitude between them remained. During a vacation in Aspen, Colorado, Sonny suffered a tragic skiing accident, and the news of the incident quickly spread, shocking the world. For Cher, the loss was more profound than for anyone else. Upon hearing the news, Cher flew from London to Los Angeles to be with the family at Sonny's memorial service. In her eulogy, Cher honored Sonny's vision and intelligence, the man who helped transform a shy 16-year-old girl into one of the most beloved entertainment duos of their time. Her eulogy didn't speak of past tensions or pain, but only of respect and gratitude. Despite her tremendous success and adoration, Cher still faced challenges in her family life. As a famous mother, her career demanded constant travel and undivided attention. This sometimes created a difficult gap to bridge with her son, Elijah Blue Allman. In a 2014 interview, Elijah shared his feelings of growing up with a famous mother, recalling how, at just 7 years old, he was sent to boarding school, an experience he described as feeling abandoned. Despite these struggles, Cher continued to push forward, building a resilient career and becoming a symbol not only in music but also in film. Her life story stands as a testament to the strength of overcoming obstacles and an unwavering drive to rise above them. Elijah Blue, Cher's son, candidly shared his emotions about his childhood. "It's hard to not feel like you're being pushed away," he said, expressing the silent pain he carried during his early years. The separation during his formative years left a lasting mark on his heart. And even as an adult, Elijah admitted that he was still processing those childhood emotions. "I'm at an age where I have to make peace with it because you just have to," he honestly shared, though that didn't mean it was easy. In 2013, there was a hopeful moment when Elijah and his wife, Marangala King, moved in with Cher for a short time to try to reconnect and rebuild their relationship. It was a promising opportunity to heal old wounds. However, life is never simple, and a dispute over details, never made public, caused the fragile bond to break once again. Elijah spoke without bitterness, describing their relationship as a work in progress, acknowledging that while many things had been resolved, there were still unspoken matters. "You'll have a different tone when you grow up compared to when you're a teenager," Elijah